healed the lepers, multiplied food, closed mouths of lions. You won't just ask him for water, for ordinary things. You'll ask him for living water. You'll ask him for your dreams. You'll ask him for what looks impossible. Are you like this lady, asking him for water, asking him for the ordinary? He's saying, I have living water. I have abundance. I have healing. I have breakthroughs. I have houses. I have businesses. I have ministries. I have favor that will catapult you where you can't go by yourself. He's saying, ask big. Ask me for what I've whispered in your heart, what I've spoken to you in the night. Ask me for the nations. The scripture says, the people who know their God will be strong and do exploits. When you know who you're talking to, you won't pray weak prayers. You won't pray sick prayers. You'll pray bold prayers. You'll ask for things that other people think are far out. Too much. That could never happen. But bold prayers get bold results. I wouldn't be standing here today if I had not learned this principle to ask God for big things, for things that seemed over my head, but I knew deep down God put it in my heart. I don't want to come to the end of life and have to wonder what would have happened if I would have prayed bold, believed big, taken the limits off of God. 3 years after my father passed and I stepped up to pastor the church, a friend called and said the Houston Rockets basketball team was moving out of this building, the former Compaq Center, and it was going to be put up for sale. When I heard that, something came alive on the inside. I knew it was supposed to be ours. But everything in my mind said, there's no way. You're not qualified. City's never going to let a church have it. Plus, you don't have the money. How would you be able to pay for it? But God on purpose will put things in your heart that are too big for you, over your head, that seem impossible. That's a test. Are you going to talk yourself out of it? Just ask for the water? Just ask for the normal? Or are you going to recognize who the one is that's putting that dream in you? Are you going to recognize who you're dealing with, the all-powerful creator of the universe? When you do, you'll ask him for living water. I said, God, this is over my head, but I know it's not over your head. God, we don't have the funds, but I know you own it all. God, those that are opposing us are bigger, stronger, but I know you being for us is more powerful than what's coming against us. Victoria and I would come out at night when they weren't having an event here, and we'd walk around the building. We would thank God that he was making a way where we didn't see a way. Against all odds, doors opened, the right people showed up, and God gave us the building. Are you praying any bold prayers? Are you believing for anything that's out of reach? Your mind says there's no way. Maybe it's to set a new standard for your family. God, let me rise out of this lack and mediocrity. Let me leave an inheritance to my children's children. God, let me own my own business. Let me build that orphanage. Let me be free from this illness. You won't see the great things if you're only praying for small things. Many times in the Old Testament, when the people were up against a big challenge, they would start their prayer off by talking about the greatness of God. King Jehoshaphat had 3 armies surrounding him. They were quickly closing in. He gathered the people of Judah at the city square. They looked up to the heavens. He didn't say, God, where are you? Look what's happening. We're about to be captured. He said, oh Lord, you alone are God. You are the ruler of the nations. You are powerful and mighty. No one can stand against you. We remember how you brought us through war, through famine, through disease. Now we're asking you, oh great God, to deliver us from these mighty armies. When you remind yourself who you're dealing with, you won't pray weak prayers. You won't pray sick prayers. You'll pray boldly. You'll ask God to do the impossible, what seems unlikely. Those are prayers that get God's attention. The people of Judah, they didn't even have to fight. The 3 armies turned on each other and ended up defeating themselves. I met a lady after the service a while back, and she came here with her family from South America. And she didn't speak English. She started coming to Lakewood and listening to the services on the headphones through the Spanish translation. One Sunday, she heard me talking about this, praying bold prayers and believing for the dreams that God put in your heart. She had always wanted to start a business to help people learn to speak English. She said that day in the service, for the first time, she said, God, I want to own my own business. God, help me to make it happen. Here, she didn't even speak English. She was trying to learn. She knew that was something that God dropped in her spirit. What activated her faith is when she had the boldness to ask for it. She dared to ask for what seemed impossible. Today, 12 years later, this young lady has an incredibly successful business. She's taught thousands of people to speak English. She told me back there, God has done so much more than I've ever imagined. But I wonder if there are dreams locked up in you that you've never asked for. Compact sinners, you've never dared to say, God, let it happen. Healing, businesses, spouses, freedom, that God's just waiting for you to be bold enough to ask Him for it. Seems over your head, far out. Every circumstance says it will never happen. But do you realize who you're dealing with? Don't go your whole life asking for water when He has living water. Something you've never experienced. Supernatural favor, supernatural increase, supernatural healing. When your mind tries to talk you out of it, you have to do like Jehoshaphat. Oh God, there is none like you. You created the heavens and the earth. All power is in your hand. When you speak, universes come to pass. God, I believe you can do what you promised. God, I'm asking you to bring this dream to pass. Where will you be in 10 years if you'll do like her and start praying bold prayers? God has put things in all of us we can't accomplish on our own. We don't have the experience, the funds, the obstacles too big, the people too strong. If you could do it by yourself, you wouldn't need God's help. This is where you have to pray a bold prayer, not a weak prayer, not a get-by prayer. God, it's just little old me. I'm at a disadvantage. Just give me the leftovers. You have to activate your faith. You have to ask for your dreams. Ask for your goals. Ask Him to open doors that seem impossible. Ask Him to increase your business. Ask Him for your children to be mighty in the land. Ask Him to take your family to a new level. Yes, it's okay to ask for water, but you're dealing with the one who can give you living water. He has so much more. You may not see how it can happen.